Hi, I'm Nick Maselli. At TD Bank, we believe all citizens need to be informed about the important financial issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by TD Bank, the New Jersey Education Association, JAG Physical Therapy, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor. Insurance fraud costs New Jersey families $1,300 a year. And by the law firm of Gibbons, P.C. Promotional support provided by Commerce Magazine and by HundsonMOD, Life Well Lived.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No. People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Steve Adubato. It is our honor to have back once again Barry Ostrowsky, who's President and CEO, RWJBarnabas Health. Good to see you, Barry.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Steve.
While we are both big Yankee fans, as is our president, Neil Shapiro, we'll put that off for a separate sports segment.
I love it. Can't wait.
But not everyone's doing as well as the Yankees as we're taping right now.
That's true.
Let me try this one. At RWJBarnabas Health, one of the things that we've talked about offline as well, because in fact I have done executive leadership coaching and run some seminars within the system, and I know that this concept of social impact is important. What is the Social Impact Initiative, and where is it focused?
It is very important, and the truth of the matter is, Steve, this is really an opportunity for us to expand our mission. Historically, as you know better than anybody, healthcare delivery systems dealt with conventional healthcare and clinical services. But we also know, and we've studied it for more than 20 years, that social determinants, frankly, the elements of poverty for the most part, unemployment, lower education, food insecurity, bad housing, these are things that actually contribute to, and for the most part, create bad health in our communities. And so while we've concentrated on clinical care historically, we really haven't concentrated on these social determinants of bad health. For Barnabas, for RWJBarnabas Health, what we've now decided is our mission includes addressing these social determinants. So,
one example.
Unemployment. We have in vulnerable communities, and Newark, New Jersey is in fact an example of that. There is chronic unemployment. People who would like to work don't have the education or training to get and hold a job. So we believe it's our responsibility to take these people, train them, and offer them employment.
Excuse me, Barry, is that the Higher Newark Employment Ready Boot Camp? Is that one of the examples?
That's one of the examples of that. So we just had our third graduation yesterday.
What's it like? What was it like?
There's not a dry eye in the house. These are people who have been chronically unemployed, who desperately would like to provide for their respective families, don't have the training necessarily to conduct an interview, don't have the training to hold on to a position of employment. And what we do is we take these folks and we put them through, as you say, a boot camp that starts with how to dress, how to speak, how to act in an interview session, and we guarantee them a job afterwards. And now in the previous two graduating classes, we have a 99% retention rate in terms of their jobs, and we've actually had 3 promotions, people who had entry-level positions who've now been promoted. Now, we're not doing it alone. We are the primary sponsor, who is an enlightened leader of that city, and he has encouraged us to do this. But other major corporate sponsors, PSE&G and others in Newark, are guaranteeing employment slots for the graduates of this boot camp. So you get into the boot camp, you absolutely know you're going to have a position.
But Barry, what strikes me, and we've talked about, again, talked about this offline as well, in seminars and community gatherings. Explain to folks, they say, wait, it's a hospital. It's a hospital system. By the way, the footprint of RWJBarnabas Health is? 9
counties, 5 million residents. So we believe, a responsibility to greater than half the population of New Jersey. just through our existing locations and facilities and clinical programs. You see, Steve, this is the conversation we're now having. There's a difference between health and health care.
What's the difference?
The difference is healthcare typically is meant to mean the clinical services that we deliver, but the health of a community is a very different picture, sadly, particularly in our vulnerable communities. Our job, we believe, our mission as we now have adopted it, is to deal with the health of the community, not simply the delivery of healthcare services. You need both, obviously.
Right.
You need to deliver healthcare services. We would meet our goal aspirationally if we kept our communities healthy, and frankly, they needed fewer healthcare services.
That's ergo RWJBarnabas Health.
Exactly. It's not
just a branding thing.
And it's not simply conventional healthcare delivery. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this. We think it's a mission point. We think we have to invest in our communities to, in fact, enhance their health and daily activity and happiness. And to me, that is almost a righteous calling. But if you don't care for that analysis, there aren't enough resources in the healthcare delivery system globally to take care of everybody. So if we can't stop people from developing conditions and illnesses, there won't be enough resources to treat all those who rely on health care. So to a certain extent, it's counterintuitive to business. If we keep people healthy, they're going to seek fewer of our services. It means less revenue. But that's the mission we have. That's the business we're in. That's the commitment we've made. And we're going to stick to it, even though, in fact, it is, as I say, somewhat counterintuitive to business. I think it's one of the great examples, candidly, of an enlightened board of trustees. We are blessed in our organization with volunteer trustees who've distinguished themselves in their business callings. They're community leaders and thought leaders. And when we get in the room and we explain what we think the mission of our organization is, our board embraced it unanimously and with great excitement. So here, in managing a big organization, we're almost a $6 billion a year organization, we believe strongly that investing in our communities, which doesn't have any immediate return on investment, that investment is critical to our success.
But you know, it's interesting, and this isn't just a disclosure, but it's actually a part of the discussion. Barry serves on the board of public broadcasting in the state. He's actually being honored at a gala. We're taping this in June. He's being actually honored tomorrow, but has been a member of the board. You've been a big supporter of public broadcasting as a system. Is that part of impact, social impact?
Oh, I think it is.
As opposed to just sponsorship.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. First of all, we're a New Jersey organization, so we believe in things that are New Jersey. And of course, New Jersey Public Television is New Jersey. You know, our state has a bit of an inferiority complex on every topic. And I think it's incumbent upon us as an organization to invest in New Jersey. So supporting New Jersey-focused and based organizations, be they entertainment, be they communication.
Special Olympics of New Jersey.
Special Olympics of New Jersey. These are things, Rutgers University, of which we're a big sponsor.
Real quick, tell folks that's not just a branding initiative.
Oh, no.
What is that initiative?
You know, we have a partnership with Rutgers about medical education, medical research, and, in fact, the delivery of healthcare services. We are effectively and virtually partners in helping New Jersey enhance its level of medical research, enhance academics, at the same time make available top-line clinical services throughout the state.
Last question. As a leader of this very large, the largest healthcare system in the state, how much do you sit there and say the status quo will never be good enough and we have to constantly find, I don't want to be esoteric about this, but as students of leadership, I ask, how much of your role is to actually ask, what is our next move? Where do we need to be? As opposed to, we're good where we are, let's stay there.
That is the dilemma. I mean, the truth of the matter is I think my job is not to maintain the status quo. People, and you've done it to me as well, have asked me, so what keeps you up at night? and I'll tell you what keeps me up at night. Not the daily pressures and concerns that you typically have in a business like ours.
Like paying your bills?
It's an operational issue, negotiating with other parties. My concern is that with all of the assets that we have and with all the opportunity we shall fall short of what we can accomplish. And that's the issue. So when you go to work every morning, to me, what drives you is, so how do we accomplish that next aspirational goal? how do we make more of a positive impact on our communities? That's the tough part of the job. And so, but it's the job, frankly, that we love.
Barry Ostrowsky is the President, Chief Executive Officer, RWJBarnabas Health, a huge Yankee fan, whether they're winning or not. But we're taping in loyalty. That's right. We're taping in June, so things are good.
So far,
this will be
so
seen
good.
after that. You'll figure out where it is. But by the way, Met fans should watch as well. Listen, thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Stay with us, one-on-one. We'll be right back.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
Recently, my colleague Joanna Gagis spoke with Lauren Simonetti, co-host of Fox Business Network's morning show, to discuss business, the economy, and being a working mom. Here now is that conversation.
Welcome back to Life and Living. I'm joined right now by Lauren Simonetti, who is an anchor at Fox Business Network. Welcome to the program.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me. On a beautiful night.
It's a beautiful night. We are positioned right on the Hudson River with the backdrop of where you go to work every single day.
And it's the perfect temperature right now.
Yes, it is.
It's not humid. I can sleep here. I actually might.
She actually might, because she's a mom and a working woman. We're going to get into all of that. Lauren, tell us about your role at Fox right now.
Well, I work at Fox Business. I anchor a very early morning show, which is politics and business, and you know, it's serious. And then I transition and I do like Good Day LA, Good Day New York, Good Day Chicago. So it's fun and upbeat. It's more like the business news for a consumer.
For the everyday person?
For the everyday person. So it transitions. And honestly, I love both of it. It's fun. I love it.
You've been with the network for a long time. You started actually as a producer before you moved on to the on-camera role.
Yep.
Was there something about business that drew you, that attracted you, that excited you?
No. I couldn't get a job right out of college.
I love it.
I couldn't get a job at all.
Honesty.
So I had an internship for CNN at the New York Stock Exchange, and I was making $25 an hour. It was more a freelance position than an internship. I was in college. And they'd pick me up in a black car, and the stock exchange was totally scary. And I was working with a reporter at the time. I would do this on it was Jane King and Claire Lake. They split the shift. Neither one of them are still there. And I'd read the Wall Street Journal with a highlighter. I had no idea what was going on. And
it's a different language entirely, right?
It was busy then, though. It was a totally different language. But there was just so many people at the stock exchange. It was several rooms. You would physically get lost and then intimidated being around all these men. And I just started to ask questions and feel more comfortable. And then the freelance job turned into like a perma-lance kind of gig. And my first job out of graduate school. And I did it during grad school. So, and I started to love business, and the reason why is money makes the world go round. There's a money angle to everything, and it doesn't have to be wonky. And through Good Day New York, for instance, I've realized that it's not wonky at all. It's fascinating.
Give me an example of that. Make that come to life, because people hear you say that there's a money angle to everything.
Right.
What's something that the average person wouldn't connect that you now, with your business brain, connect?
How badly do you want to go on a vacation? You're a working mom, you want to go on a vacation. Well, most people save for their home and for retirement, but right now people are saving more for the vacation. Why? Are we so stressed out that we'll go into, not joking, a study was out recently, $1,100 worth of debt just to take this vacation. And it takes you 6 months to recover from all the bills you accumulate being on vacation. Right. You know, the dinner's out, the flight, the hotel, whatever. So that's a money angle, and we're talking about going to Tulum.
Right, and this is the everyday person, and probably represents most people, the average American. Do you understand your own life? Do you understand the world a bit better having this experience, seeing the world through this lens?
The older I get, the more I understand. It was difficult to do business news being so young and not having a mortgage, for instance, and giving my dad my taxes to do. But as you get older and go through the life experiences, getting married, having a child, I do understand more. It puts it in a different perspective. And then just following Washington right now, especially with this administration, is beyond fascinating. Just to see how it all connects. What is the market doing and why? Well, it's because Trump tweeted this. It's because they gave us this date for potential tax reform.
Not that there was ever a predictability about the market, but do you feel that there's an extra unpredictability these days?
Well, the predictability is that it wants to go up.
Right.
And sometimes you say to yourself, well, why is it going up? And it's this hope that the agenda of tax reform, infrastructure spending, healthcare reform, the expectation that goes through. Does it? We don't know. But there is that hopium out there, that cautious optimism, but it is a float higher. Other people will tell you fundamentally, going through the recession, companies have saved money, they cut all the excess, their headcount is where it needs to be. So their balance sheets are healthier, so they'll be able to be fine regardless of what happens in Washington.
So speaking of financial crashes, you have covered some of the major events that have happened. 2008, right? Stock market crash.
I remember I was a producer at the time, being outside Lehman Brothers, and everything about it I remember. I was working with Conall McShane at the time, and we were like, did they just go under? And we were trying to get someone coming out of the building to tell us. And those
Lehman Brothers
days.
and
yeah. among many others. Yeah.
Right.
Those were very long, confusing days at the time.
Yes. Sleepless nights
sad
for you?
Days.
Yeah,
sad days.
They were sad days. Bernie Madoff was another one.
That was fascinating. What really touched me about Bernie Madoff was going down to Florida and meeting the families, the victims. And these were good people. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do in life. They weren't rich by somewhere, but many were just, the parents that worked hard. They had their house. They might have had a summer house. They put their kids through college, and they were just trying to enjoy life. And then all of a sudden, the rug was pulled out from under them.
Trying to do the right thing.
To do the right thing. Living the American dream. So Bernie Madoff was a fascinating story to cover. And to see the real human effect of that.
Speaking of human effect, and you mentioned earlier that as you go through these life stages, you really have a different understanding of your work. You recently became a mom, right?
20 months ago, yes.
20 months ago. It's still recent. Until they're sleeping through the night and eating on their own, I say it's a new mom. I speak from experience. How different is it being a working mom now and managing your schedule? Because you're working on the morning show, right?
One is doable, but I need to talk to you when it's time for the second, because I can't even, imagine how you do that.
Changes everything.
So I don't sleep. I might get, if I'm lucky, 4 hours a night.
What time do you go in? Because your show, FBN AM, starts at 5 a.m. every day.
Right, which means you have to be read in, prepared, and have your hair and makeup done. So
what time does that start for you?
I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I leave between 1:30 and 2 to go into work. But I get home early. So I'm a full-time employee, journalist, and I'm a full-time mom. I don't feel too guilty. Like if I have a late day at the office, that's okay, because she sees me multiple hours every day, and honestly, it's worth it.
You still have the rest of the day with her.
Make the doctor's appointments, the play dates. I'm there for all of that.
It's pretty special that you get to balance that, although I know it comes with sacrifice and, like you said, the sleepless nights, but you do have that balance, and a lot of people don't. If you had advice for a young producer or young on-camera talent trying to work their way up right now, what would it be?
I always tell all the young girls at work who ask me how I got on air, I always say, wait until you're 30 or close to 30. It's a very competitive industry.
Wait until you're 30 to do what?
To get on air. To get on air, because you don't know anything, and you don't know how much you don't know until you're in the position. We have so many interns who are beautiful and smart, and they have great voices, but you're just learning the business. It's not just about being on camera, it's knowing how to operate the camera, knowing that that's my camera, that's our two-shot, that's your camera, and my hair can't touch my mic. Going through that.
So that production experience for you, being a producer and understanding the ropes and what it takes to put a production together.
And if you look at the industry now, people are losing their jobs. Everything is automated, robo cameras. They're cutting costs every way they can. So if you can do multiple jobs, you're
marketable.
You're more marketable.
So everything comes back to money, right?
See, there you go.
I'm learning. I'm learning from you already. Lauren Simonetti, thank you so much. What a pleasure.
Nice to see you.
That was wonderful.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are pleased to welcome Eric Gernath, who is the Chief Executive Officer, SUEZ North America. Good to see you, Eric.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
Explain what SUEZ is.
Well, SUEZ is the largest environmental company in the world. SUEZ does business across the world, 1/3 in Europe, 1/3 in the Asia-Pacific region, and 1/3 in North and South America. And here, in North America, we do business all across the country, and in New Jersey, we serve about 1.6 million people with our services every day.
It's interesting, some of the larger communities we're talking about, Bayonne, Hoboken, Jersey City, are just some of the communities that SUEZ serves. Water. Do we not, most of us, do we not think about it until there's a problem?
You're absolutely right. And the reason is, we use water every day. We take it for granted. But water, having good water, having good quality water, having good infrastructure is actually a daily struggle. And why?
Struggle?
A daily struggle. Why? Because you need a lot of expertise, a lot of resources to make sure every day the water that you drink is of an adequate, quality. The water that you treat for wastewater is actually suitable for discharge, that you're not polluting the environment. So it's a daily struggle. But what we pride ourselves about is that you don't think about it.
Because you guys are thinking about it all the time, right?
We try.
How expensive, though? I mean, this is. I don't think the other part we talked about Newark water problems with the kids, with the drinking water, and people go, oh, let's get bottled water, as if that's a solution. This is big infrastructure money, right?
Yes, and water is here for the long term. So of course you're going to use water every day, and whenever you build infrastructure, you want those infrastructures to last for a long, long time. And in our country, we're fortunate enough that our father, grandfathers, great-grandfathers have been working on building infrastructures. But you know what happened? Those infrastructures are aging, and we've not been as collectively as diligent as we need to be to upgrade, modernize those infrastructures.
And is SUEZ helping to play catch-up there?
Yes. In a nutshell, yes. And we face, we go to communities, we engage stakeholders, elected officials, end users in dialogues, and we try to understand first their issue. In our business, there's not a one-size-fits-all solutions. It has to be tailored to the local challenges that a city is facing. And we try to help, but we try to help for the long term, and we try to make sure that we're not bringing expensive technologies, useless technologies for the people. We try to bring solutions that people genuinely need and can afford.
Eric, how hard is it to go into a community that has aging water pipes, the infrastructure is falling apart, and having a really candid conversation about what it's going to cost and potentially what they may have to ask taxpayers for to get it right?
And that's where you have to think of what is exactly the challenge and how you want to solve it. If it's just about increasing the water tariff for the end user, it's not going to work. So you have to make sure you bring enough technologies to not to over-modernize the infrastructure, but just to invest what you need to invest to produce the service, the drinking water or discharge the wastewater that we all expect to have every day. So it's about innovation, it's about technology, and it's about making sure, again, you don't have a one-size-fits-all kind of model.
But certain communities that grow like Jersey City, they're getting bigger, there's more development there. That has water implications.
Yes, and that's very useful, because if you've got a good dialogue with the elected officials, with the members of the community, you can plan ahead. And being proactive as opposed to being reactive is efficient. And one of your questions was about how do you make sure you're bringing efficient solutions, planning ahead.
So it's not just saying, oh, we have a water main break, let's respond. You do that as well, but it's also strategically thinking ahead. What are they doing in this community? What are the water implications? What do we need to do?
Absolutely, and that's, we call it, master planning, but it's all about understanding the need of the community, understanding how, at what pace they want to grow, understanding where the problematic part of the network lies, and understand what you need to prioritize, what you need to change, how you need to replace your infrastructure.
One of the final questions, Eric, is what is the most rewarding aspect of your job as the CEO of this organization with such huge responsibility?
We pride in what we do, and it's providing services that people can enjoy, and I would say, to be a bit provocative, take for granted. That's what we pride ourselves, that we provide a service that not only you need, but you deserve.
Yeah, final. Jen Eichlin, our producer, just said the issue of water scarcity. Can you give me 30 seconds on that? Across the country, big issue, right?
It is, but again, it depends in which area. So water scarcity is not typically a northeast.
It's not where you are here.
No, it's
other
not.
Parts. Okay.
Other parts of the city, but it's a great question, because if you take areas like Florida, California, Texas, you've got water scarcity. And let me give you a very concrete example.
Sure, real quick.
Cities like Corpus Christi, big industrial base, and they want to continue to attract industries, and they need to make sure that the industries will get water for, as long as they need water. An elected official doesn't want to prioritize, between an industry, a refinery,
right,
and consumers. So we help. Water scarcity.
Real quick, SUEZ North America, how many in New Jersey? 1.6 million.
1.6 million people served every day by us.
Eric, I want to thank you for joining us, Chief Executive Officer at SUEZ, and also SUEZ is one of the major supporters of public broadcasting as well. I want to thank you for joining us and talking about an issue that doesn't get a lot of attention, but is so important in our lives every day, water. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by TD Bank, the New Jersey Education Association, JAG Physical Therapy, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor, and by the law firm of Gibbons PC. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
What is it?
It's you.
It's me? All right, Emma. I know it's not your favorite, but it's time for your medicine, okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Emma, Emma, Bobemma, banana, fana, fofemma, fee, fi, fofemma, Emma. Very good, sweetie. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, you did a really good job, okay? Let's go back to drawing.